Well, welcome everybody to our, I think this is our second triennial meeting this month, or this year. We try to do a couple of these every year, and then we do our annual meeting in January. So today, let me give you a little background, a little update on what we're going to do. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the change that we're experiencing and how we're making our company a scalable company, and I'm going to talk about the companies that we're looking to acquire and why. And then we'll be doing, Joe's going to come up and tell us about some of the accounts that he's closed and the great associations he's adding to our portfolio. Tim Taylor, Christine Rogers, and Karen Thompson are going to come up and talk to us about large scale and what we do and how that's different than portfolio management and all the secrets. They're going to give us their secret sauce of our business. Maria's going to come up and talk about or give out some awards to our long tenured employees, and she's going to talk about some events that we've had the last few months and some that are coming up. And then we're going to take a short break before we have a speaker that's coming up, and her name is Gloria Jeter Crockett, and she is the Chief Development Officer of Second Harvest Food Bank. And we've done some team building events over there this year, and we went there because one of our company values is servant leadership, and what better organization to show servant leadership than a company that provides food to Orange County. So she's going to talk to us about their philosophy of how they do business and how they're giving back to the community, because it really relates to our core value of servant leadership. So with that, I should have flipped this before. Oh well. With that, I want to talk to you about building a scalable company. For the past couple of years, I've been talking to you about us building a scalable company and what that means. And when we started, we weren't ready for the rate of growth that we were experiencing a couple years ago. We kind of brought the company to a halt, and our growth exposed some real weaknesses within the company, and we knew that we couldn't continue to grow at that rate at any kind of smooth approach. So we started looking at our company, and we reorganized our accounting department, our portfolio management, and our new project development group into more functional units that will allow us to grow more easily and to scale. And we began to look at some of our policies and practices, and we found in many areas that we needed to update them and refine our policies and our practices. We really hadn't kept up with the best practices in the business world today. We found that we had many exception type practices that affected a small group of people. It benefited a small group of team members, but it resulted in a lot of extra work to track the time involved, to track the specific policies we had. So we started to make some changes there. So things like tracking newsletters and who got paid and who didn't. We had a bunch of exception policies on different associations, so we changed that. We had some people that were getting paid a little extra to carry an account for a short period of time. And the problem was that all these exceptions we had were creating some inequities in the way we compensate people, and it was really becoming a tracking nightmare to do that. Everybody turning in their little slips of paper and us tracking that. To do payroll was extremely hard and complex. So we knew that as we grew, the already tracking nightmare we had was really going to spin out of control. So we decided we were going to make some changes. So we've eliminated some of those exception policies within the company and put them we've changed our format, and instead of paying a little extra here and there, we are moving towards a performance-based compensation program, one where bonuses and compensation and incentive packages will be based on performance. And under our new performance-based plan, which really goes into effect in 2019, higher performers will earn more money. That's what our goal is. You work hard, we pay you more. So you've seen us change some HR policies so that we could enhance other areas of our company. Things like we had a vacation buyback policy that we decided to take the cost of that policy and move it over to contributing to buy better health insurance. And along with Keystone throwing some more money into that, we really went out and bought a lot better health policy with substantially lower deductibles and a much broader doctor network. We were getting a lot of complaints on Doctor Network, and we felt like we could use the money from the buyback program, the vacation buyback program, to enhance the benefits of health insurance. And I think today you should all be feeling that, knowing that you're paying less for health insurance than you were because our deductibles declined substantially. I know I personally have felt that in a big way. And that gave us, instead of just a few enjoying one small program, it gave us the ability to take that funds and apply it to a benefit that everybody enjoys within the company. It's something that we're trying to do for the whole company as a whole. So our goal is to implement best practice whenever possible and to really simplify our processes. We have some complexities that we wanted to get rid of. And quite frankly, I'll tell you, when we started looking at this stuff, we ended up with a lot more change than I ever anticipated. I think than the senior staff ever anticipated. I wish we could have come and told you ahead of time, but I don't think we knew all the things we were going to change and how it would affect us going forward and what kind of problems it was creating for us. So, but it was a lot. So, as the rate of change accelerated, we still believe that the changes that we made are streamlining our operations and allowing us to grow more easily. And growth means more opportunity for each one of you. You're going to see more changes in technology. We finished the conversion of Caliber to get everybody onto Caliber. That was really the first phase of that conversion. It put us onto a database that we can do a lot more with than we could ever do with Assist, but we know some of your jobs became more complex as a result of putting Caliber in, and that's not acceptable to us. There's some of us are going over to Caliber next month to really get them focused on, hey, Keystone needs you to change some of these things. We need to be more efficient with that package, and our goal is that everybody's as efficient as possible. You should expect to see more technology in 2019 and in the years beyond. Ken has some exciting tools that he's going to introduce next year that will make your life easier. We believe that if we can do our basic functions more easily and we can get our job done easier, that we can spend more time worrying about our customers and providing better service to them. Well, with all this change, I know it's uncomfortable at times. It's been uncomfortable for me. I know it's been uncomfortable for you, but it's also been exciting. And I think that we have some more excitement that's coming, but we believe that all the changes that we've made and the ones that we'll continue to make in the future are really, the bottom line for us is that our intent is to improve people's lives beyond expectations, and that means your life and how you work. That means our customers' life. So the bottom line is when we make changes, we're looking at how do we improve your life, how do we improve our customers' life. Okay. I want to talk a minute about acquisitions. I've touched on this previously about Keystone Pacific buying other companies, some competitors, and people have asked me why. Why do you want to do that? And we believe that we currently offer a much better product than our industry as a whole. That we're trying to offer a much higher level of service. We continue to improve our service to our customers, and our goal is really to disrupt the community association industry. I want to change the way we do business and raise the level of service that the industry offers as a whole. Right now, we take our higher service, and it's on our footprint, which is Orange County, it's Los Angeles, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego, and we're just in those markets. And I think it's going to be exciting if we could take Keystone Pacific's service level to a broader area, an area like all the way up the coast from Southern California to Washington State and out to Texas. That's a lot of area out there, and I think it'd be exciting for us to take our product and move it into those areas. The way we do that is we acquire some companies that are in those marketplaces, and we transform them to the way we do business. Some of them will have better practices than we do that we haven't realized yet, but our goal is to take our practice to them, to take our service, to take our technology to them, and to allow them to increase the level of service in their areas, and that's my goal. And our goal is to start slowly. We're not going to just jump in this and acquire 5 companies next year. Our goal is to acquire one company to begin with in our marketplace, a small company that we can learn how to do it. We can learn how to integrate, and if we're going to make some mistakes, we'd rather make them in our local marketplace. So we're going to start slowly, and as we perfect the process of integrating a company, then we'll start to accelerate our process of acquiring companies and looking beyond where we are today. But we've realized, last week I was in a class with some of our senior staff, and the most important element in acquiring a company is the integration and how you do that, and making sure that your technology works for them, and making sure that you bring everybody into your fold. If you just, this isn't just let's make a deal, buy this company and expect they're going to do what we do and move to the next ones. We have to make sure our integration is really clean. So over the next year, we're going to be really developing what they call in the industry as a playbook. Is what are we going to look at? How do we decide who fits our model? Because not everybody does. I mean, if it's a company that wants to charge a little bit of money and provide a lower level of service, that's not our target unless they're ready to step up to our level of service. Let's see. And as we grow, it creates upward mobility for you. We're going to need more leaders to guide our teams. We're going to need leaders to expand our culture of improving lives beyond expectations. And hopefully it'll give each of you an opportunity to improve your lives through more responsibility and more compensation. I don't have a rabbit, I'm just getting water. So, to sum that up, I mean, our goal is to really disrupt this industry and to take it to another level with technology and make your life easier and make our customers' life easier. You know, I think a lot of the things that we do today, we were doing 50 years ago. Think about the board packets we prepare. They look the same. And a lot of the way we do board meetings is the same. I mean, what if you have someone that you talk to and they need to come to a hearing, or you want them to come to the board and they say, I can never make the board, I can never make that. What if they could sit in their living room in front of their TV or not their TV, their telephone or their computer, and log into that meeting and do a hearing that way? So we make it easier for customers to get there, and we provide a service that allows them to do that. I mean, what if you could be in a market you're shopping, and you know that you want to let someone through the gate, and you get onto your phone and there's an app there that Keystone puts out, and it says you can add people to the list to get them through the front gate of your community. So other industries have taken advantage of technology. Why can't we? Why can't we? I think we're slow. I think that we're very slow in adapting it, and other industries are way ahead of us, and why can't we do it? That's what we want to do. So we plan to be the leader that takes our industry, which is, in my mind, is really in the dinosaur stage, into a technology age. That's our goal. So with that, I'm going to have Joe come up and talk about some of the accounts that he brought on and what kind of other accounts he's got coming after that.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Really? It seems like it. How's it going, everybody? Great. All right. I'm Joe Winkler. I'm the general manager of Aviara Master Association, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about. Oh, thank you. A little bit about sales and marketing and what's been going on over the past few months. So, I want to start by saying. This is super loud, is what I want to start by saying. Move that away from me a little bit. Is that okay? Can everyone still hear me? All right. We have had the best 4 or 5 months in Keystone Pacific's history this past summer. The amount, not just the, yeah, please, put it together. Because everybody takes a little bit of credit for this, because it's been incredible what we've all done as a company recently. Here's the list of accounts that we've had in 2018, and it continues on the next page, but I want to focus on a couple specifically. First of all, I want to focus on 3 large portfolio accounts that we brought in. The first one is Woodbury East, 530 home master association right down the street in Irvine, California. The second is Harvard Square, which we used to have back in, I think we lost them in 2003, 2004. And the last one is Rancho Etiwanda, 632 homes located in the Inland Empire. All three of these accounts had significant service level issues, okay? And two of the three had significant political issues and still do, okay? People like Gloria Vizzini, raise your hand, right there, okay? Had to hold a romper room type board meeting last week and get up and leave the board meeting and whip everybody into shape and did an awesome job in doing it. Brandon, where's Brandon? There he is. Okay. Harvard Square, again, a very Mr. Rogers neighborhood type of atmosphere going on in that community. Brandon's done an amazing job over the past couple months, really getting them dialed in from a service level perspective. And where's Danielle? Right back there. Woodbury East. I mean, we walked into Woodbury East. There were weeds up to your waist in some of the planter beds, okay? And Danielle was able to come in pretty short order, win all of their trust, and right away we've got a referral for a sub-association in Woodbury East. Unbelievable, guy. I mean, to get 3 portfolio accounts like this in 3 or 4 months, I can't tell you how hard that is, okay? And bringing all of you to the meetings, I mean, Gloria and Danielle I brought to the meetings, I mean, these people help win accounts for us because of how well spoken they are, how great they are at their jobs, okay? So, next, let's talk about on-sites, all right? And not only have we brought in 3 huge portfolio accounts, we brought in 3 pretty large master associations. All right? The first one I want to talk about is the Metropolitan. We don't do, as a company, high-rise. We don't do mid-rise. Is Karina Kroom here today, or is she at the Metropolitan? She might be at the Metropolitan. All right. So we are very fortunate to get the opportunity to manage the Metropolitan. High-end, mid-rise, 4 buildings located in Irvine, California. I can't tell you how frustrated they were with First Service, okay? I mean, every time I'd walk into the room, all they want to do is talk about how miserable they are with First Service. And I'd tell them, well, then I'm your guy, all right? Let's talk about Keystone Pacific. And they were willing to take a little bit of a risk with us in the fact that we don't manage mid-rise. But we've had a general manager come in named Karina. She did a mid-rise up in Garden Grove area, and she has done an absolutely fantastic job. We went to a wine and cheese party there. And I mean, we had 50 people show up to a wine and cheese party for a community of 250 condos. So that's how excited they were about the service level. Next one, where I'm the GM of, Aviera Master Association, 1,402 homes. Really large association located in Carlsbad area. They were also really upset with the current service level that they had been receiving. And again, you know, in San Diego, we've gone from 0 on-sites to 5 on-sites in 5 years. Incredible how well we've done in the San Diego area because it's, like Carrie was talking about, an area that hasn't really experienced how we do business and how we treat the client. And so they're thrilled with us so far, mostly because I'm there, but I'm sure the new GM will do an amazing job too. And then Chapman Heights, another large on-site located in Inland Empire. Their staff is coming with them, and the illustrious Tim Taylor lives in this community, and so we had to immediately expunge the violation list for his home. It was like actually half of the records that we thought we needed to transfer. We reduced their box count from 200 to like 75 just by getting rid of that. So we're really excited about Chapman Heights as well, and I can't wait to have a new violation file for Tim. Last but not least, the new development department, Jamie, Janine, Michael, all of the people that work there played a huge role in getting Bedford with the New Home Company. Another large master associate, yeah, please. Another large master association located in Corona, and that we've done so well there. We've already signed one of the sub-associations called Citron, I believe, with TriPoint. So again, this gives us more ability to build our relationship with the development community in the Inland Empire. So totals, okay, and we're not done yet this year. 9,500 units to date, okay? That's insane. It's insane, okay? 23 accounts total, all right? And so we couldn't be more happy about these numbers. Inland Empire, we've got 11, Orange County, 9, on-site, 3, okay? So again, fantastic numbers, and new business bonus so far this year. We've given away $10,500, and that doesn't count some of these on-sites in large portfolios that just came on that we have yet to hand out the new business bonus for. So again, I know I get up here and I say this every time, but this is all predicated on the jobs you guys do every day and making sure that our clients have an unbelievable experience at Keystone Pacific, okay? And I can't tell you how many times I go out and I'm sitting in front of people because of all of you, all right? They hear about our reputation. They hear about the great job we do. They hear about a special project we did from someone that really made an impact on someone's own personal life. And that's why I'm sitting there at the table, okay? So my job is to just not blow it for all of you, all right? To make sure that people understand the great job that you do every day and we continue to grow. So thank you, everybody. With that, I'm going to hand it over to my worse half, Tim Taylor, and he's going to come up and talk about large-scale management. Thanks, everybody.
Good afternoon, everybody. It's great to be back in Irvine. How are you? A round of applause. I'm back. I'm glad, Joe, that the last I'm pretty loud, aren't I? I don't really probably even need this thing. I'm glad the last 3 or 4 months have been great for you, Joe, and the company. I'm very, very pleased to hear that. I'm sure you want to know how my last 3 months have been, which have been kind of not so great, okay? Because while Joe was the general manager of Aviara the last 3 weeks, I've been the general manager of Ocean Hills down in Carlsbad for the last 3 months. So I'm very happy to be up here trying to convince some of you that maybe you might want to consider becoming on-site general managers. I want to make sure that I start off just the way I want to here. Our mission statement is we improve lives beyond expectation, okay? And we do that remarkably well for our clients. But what Joe talked about and all the growth we've had, he's right. It's all due to the people in this room and the amazing talents and skills that you bring to your job every day. So what I'm up here to do, and what Karen and Kayla and Christine and Kim are hopefully going to do, is we want to talk a little bit about maybe what you can do to help improve your life beyond expectation. And that is just consider the possibility of becoming a large-scale on-site GM for Keystone Pacific. In the last year, through transition and just through internal personnel changes, we've changed on-site GMs at 7 different communities. Every one of those GMs came from outside our company. Now, it's great because we've hired some amazing people, but I'm telling you, there are amazing people in this room that if the circumstances were right for you, you would have also been an amazing hire at these communities. We have, as a company, and Joe touched on it during his presentation, as a company, we have 15 large-scale communities. They're listed up here on this slide, and you can see the number of units that are in the 15 different communities. Each one of these communities is dramatically different from the other 14. Now, there are some similarities, yes, but they are dramatically different in their age, in the character of the community, in the way they conduct their business. I guarantee you they're different in the way they conduct their board meetings. And I know that there are people in this room, Joe touched on it, Janine, other people that are great property managers that would do a fantastic job at these communities. Believe me, you have what it takes. Carrie talked about the secret sauce of on-site management. Well, there isn't really a secret sauce, but if you're good, if you're technically good, you know what you're required to do in the governing documents, you understand what the rules and regulations say. That's a big part of it, and we all deal with that every day, whether you're a portfolio manager or an on-site manager. On-site management gives you an opportunity to really get to know, and I mean really get to know, the people who live in the community that you manage. You get to know their careers, you get to know their history, you get to know their family, you get to know their kids in many communities. You get to know your board members intimately well. And for those of you that have made a decision that this is your chosen career path, this is a great opportunity for you, not only personally, but professionally. So we have these 15 communities, and just to give you an idea of the diversity, here's a map showing where they're located. Now, I know everybody that works for Keystone. Some of you live in the Inland Empire. Many of you live in Orange County. Some of you live in the San Diego area. But I bet that there's at least a half a dozen of you or more that if you look at where these communities are located, it's not too far of a commute for you to consider. That was, for a long time, a big impediment for us to be able to find the right GM for some of the communities, is we just weren't consolidated enough to have communities that were close by where the talented people in this room lived. But I don't think that's the case anymore. We have communities as far south as La Jolla and as far north as Inglewood, and all the way out in the Inland Empire, all the way to Solera Oak Valley, which is in Beaumont, which is right down the street from where I live. Rather than just have me stand up here and talk about what it's like to be an on-site GM and try to encourage you to consider it as a possible career path, I asked two of our most talented and successful GMs to share this presentation with me. And I'm very happy to have Karen Thompson, Kayla Stevenson from Woodbury Community Association to come up and talk to you a little bit about Woodbury. And then I'm going to have Christine Rogers and Kim Little come up and talk to you about Solera Oak Valley. These are both very large communities, but they are very different from one another, and I think you'll get the flavor for it after you've heard from both of them. And then I'll just kind of sum it up when they're done. So at this point, I'm very pleased to introduce Karen Thompson and Kayla.
Hello, I'm Karen Thompson, and this is Kayla Stevenson, and we're the on-site team at Woodbury and Irvine. I'm here to talk about the roles and benefits of an on-site team brings to the community that we serve. From our standpoint, we try to create the best community through professionalism and responsive management. I have to say we have a lot of fun. Every day is different, and we have fantastic residents who truly love and appreciate everything that we do in our day-to-day work. As an on-site team, we're able to create a direct relationship with the board, invaluable trust is developed, and we're able to work together to create a sense of community. Woodbury has been fortunate to have very little board turnover over the years, with many of our directors staying on for several years. They're a great group of homeowners and support management. They allow us to manage their community with full confidence. Being focused on one community allows for us to have undivided attention for our residents. We're able to stop and provide excellent service in that moment. We can see a problem firsthand and respond quickly. As a hands-on manager, I have the ability to work directly with vendors right when something pops up. I'm there to see the job has been completed correctly, and if not, make sure that it is. As a prior portfolio manager, I use the same management and skill sets that we all have. It allows me to learn the community inside and out. I can honestly tell you that I do truly enjoy being on site a lot more than being a portfolio manager, mainly because of the reduced stress and greater rewards that we get from our residents. So we'll now share with you some of the wonderful community events that Kayla is able to create for our residents, the fun part of our job.
I am the Recreation Director for Woodbury, and I plan and facilitate all of the community events. Right now, I coordinate anywhere between 15 to 20 events per year. Our community events can have anywhere from 300 to 3,000 residents. Some of the events we plan are a spring fling, a fall festival, 4th of July, Santa Comes to Woodbury, and many more. Here are some photos from 3 of our bigger events that we do every year. For me, one of the things I love most about working on site is the ability to create long-lasting relationships with our residents and their children, and how I'm able to build that trust with them over time. It's really nice for residents to see a familiar face, and it gives us the opportunity to create an invaluable bond. We love planning these events for our residents because it allows us to be creative and to build that community feel within Woodbury.
So if anyone would like to experience the flavor and experience of an on-site office, we're in Irvine. Come and see us. We'd be happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Okay, next up, Christine Rogers and Kim Little. Christine Rogers is the general manager at Solera Oak Valley Greens, and Kim is the recreation director there. I've known Christine for, how many years, Christine? 40?
Yeah.
20 years. 20 years. I've known Christine for 20 years, and she is a phenomenal GM. And Solera Oak Valley Greens is an active adult community, 55 years of age or older, so it's dramatically different than Woodbury is.
Now, which? Okay, got it. Thank you. Come on, Kim. Good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to talk, or Tim asked me to talk about active adult communities, and they are a little bit unique. They have unique needs, unique challenges, and unique opportunities. Some of the needs are that they are more highly regulated than a regular HOA. We have to adhere to requirements. Is this really loud? I'm hearing.
Yeah, but
That's
okay.
Okay.
It's not everyone here. Yeah.
There. Federal regulations which basically establish what a senior community is and who is qualified to live there, and then state requirements that define how you can make exceptions to that 55+ status for certain residents. We have to maintain, we have to gather and retain age and occupancy records and update those every 2 years. The amenities and activities, which Kim will talk about in more detail, are centered around fitness, recreation, entertainment, and wellness. The special considerations for residents who are aging in place, and this can relate to facilities, programs, protocols, maintaining current emergency contact information for everybody, which becomes very important in times of crisis for some of our residents, and then establishing the relationships with appropriate outside agencies when needed. Some of the challenges are the residents are much more present. There's a closer scrutiny of the daily operation in a 55+ community, closer scrutiny of the on-site staff. There are generational trends. Right now, we have mostly, I'm going to say most of our residents are in the baby boomers. We still have some of the traditionalists or silent generation, although they're not always so silent. Most of them, though. Most of them, though, respect the rules. They follow the rules. They don't say too much. They pay their assessments, and they don't attend board meetings. And then you have the baby boomers, who are, these are the hippies, the activists, the people who stage protests and burned undergarments and all of that. They don't like rules quite so much. They question authority sometimes, but they are willing to get involved and become part of their community. In a couple of years, we're going to have the Gen Xers in there, and who knows? Technology will become huge, and it's not quite so huge for our older residents. They know how to use a computer. They don't, other than checking email every once in a while, it doesn't mean much more than that. But the boomers and the people coming after them are going to require much more sophisticated technology. So trying to blend that to please everybody or to suit everybody is also a challenge. And then the lifestyle, it's not just a home purchase, it's a lifestyle choice. And again, Kim will talk about that. The opportunities that come along with this, all of those challenges can be turned into opportunities. Your daily contact, as Karen said, it builds trust and it strengthens relationships. And yes, they come in more often, they're at your door, they're sitting in your office, they're up at the front desk, but that is an opportunity to let them see that you're really there to help them make their community a better place. It gives you a chance to teach by example and demonstrate that the community's assets are being well managed. It gives you a chance to tap the natural resources. The technical and professional experience of these residents is amazing. And if you can channel that into a volunteer pool that participates in making the community a better place to live, it's a very, very rewarding experience. And lastly, the personal rewards, which are the learning experiences and the long-lasting relationships. I think it's been a very, it's been rewarding for me. It's been a great career choice for me, and I would encourage any of you who are interested to contact me. We'd be happy to show you around, answer questions, let you meet some of the residents. So please do consider it. And here's Kim Little.
Right. Which way? Click right?
Yeah.
Is mine up here yet? Okay, my job, I was told, is to convince you guys to become recreation directors so I can retire. So I'm going to try and do that with a whole bunch of cards here that I'll probably skip through because I didn't realize how long-winded I was, I do want to give you a little quick background, if I may, though. I've been a recreation director for 18 years, pretty much my entire civilian career. Tim was my second boss. I had worked at the Colony for about a year, and then Tim hired me at Sun Lakes, and I stayed there for a little over 10 years, and now I work with Christine and have been there for 8 years. Prior to that, I did, just real quickly, retired Air Force and did 20 years, so my background, a lot of my background from the military transposed over to recreation, which made it a lot easier for me in my transition, so it was a win-win for, I hope, everybody that hired me and had faith in me. Excuse me. I know this sounds like really silly, like what are activities? I don't know if this is the route I was supposed to go, but I'm going to go that way anyway because it's a senior community, and active or passive involvement in something that individuals find meaningful for personal enrichment, and obviously it includes clubs, groups, and individuals. Recreation lifestyle. And I'm just going to go down this real quick to let you know what my responsibilities are. I'm sure a lot of this falls up under your management as well and portfolio, but I program and special event planning for the needs of a senior community. That's a wide range of everything from pickleball to tennis to bocce ball to special events, as it was touched on earlier as well too. Staff and volunteer management, we take care of all the volunteers that come in and help me set up events, do programs, work on all of your board packages, and work on all of your, what's the word I'm looking for? Work for all of your committees, and you'll have a lot of them, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There's quite a few of them. They're retired, so let's create a committee. If there isn't one, it's already there. Trust me. Relationship building with the residents and staff, again, as everybody indicated, they're involved 24/7. It just does not matter. They really enjoy being with you, really enjoy that lifestyle, and really want to come in and be involved. And then administration, and then building management. If you're lucky enough in building management to have a maintenance team, that's great. But since we're a little smaller scale, I'm the building management right now, which makes it a little more difficult, but we still get the job done. My biggest challenges right now is definitely participation. I know it sounds kind of strange because there's 1,290 homes in Solera, but I have a lot of folks that still work. So I'm still trying to target to a big range group from, I have a 50-year-old who is eligible to live there, is obviously if they have a spouse that's older than them, all the way up to 100 years old. So you think of that wide range of activities and events you have to put on, and you think, okay, I can do a concert with Elton John, but in the meantime, on the flip side, I have to do a concert with, I don't even know anybody that old. Wayne Newton, how's that? Led Zeppelin, yeah. So those are the challenges that you do have as a recreation director in the senior community. You also have to program, as I indicated, for generations, trends, and ethnicity, especially ethnicity when it comes down to different holiday celebrations, making sure you're hitting the Hanukkahs and the Christmas vacation. All of those ethnicities are involved as well, and you do have to be sensitive to that when you're programming your events. And social media for marketing has also been a little difficult in the senior community. When most folks retire at 55 plus, they don't even want to look at a computer anymore. They're like, I don't want to see my email, I don't want to go online, I don't want to see what you have in the way of an internet. They just don't care. So you'll come in, well, can I send you an email? No, you can't. And that, I mean, I'm not even lying. No, you can't send me an email. Can't you just, jot it down, pick up the phone? Yeah, they don't want that. And I know it's going to change. It really will change. But right now, it's just that they want that one-on-one action, and they really, really enjoy that. As you see, recreation activities will continue to be mainstream of any active adult community. They're on a rise. In Beaumont alone, we've got a couple new senior communities coming online. Obviously, it's not anything, I don't know, Keystone has bid on those yet, but we'll make sure they do. Yeah. Okay. But it's all about the lifestyle. That's what they're selling right now is the lifestyle. They're calling our residents saying, hey, come over, look what we have to offer. Look at our swimming pools. Look at our pickleball courts. Look at our bocce courts. That's what they're trying to sell. And it's a passive outlook for the importance of long life well-being for our seniors. You'll be there to help them along the way. And it's definitely, definitely, definitely a people-oriented profession. There's no ands, ifs, or buts about it. Things have really, really, really changed. It says, often when one thinks of a recreation senior center, the images come to mind of a frail elderly munching on Jell-O, of course, playing bridge, falling asleep on lobby couches. Well, that isn't the case anymore in senior recreation. Recreation directors are dispelling the myth of aging, and that's what we're here to do. We combine a vibrant, lively atmosphere, offer cutting-edge programming, making our clubhouses, a fun and engaging place for our residents to participate in. And I believe that was my last slide. It is. If you have any questions, let us know.
Good job. I guess you can imagine, I really did enjoy working with Kim. She was a lot of fun. We had a good time. By the way, truth in advertising here, I paid very close attention to what Karen said during her presentation, and she said that all of the residents at Woodbury love what they do, okay? Well, I've had a couple of phone calls from one individual who I don't think he was expressing love for what was going on there. I believe he had a couple of parking issues and he wasn't really in love with anybody about it, but you guys do an awesome job there, you really do. You know, again, I hope that listening to Karen and listening to Christine, you see the kind of the dynamic differences between the community. I've been at Ocean Hills Country Club for the last 3 months. It's also an active adult, age-restricted community. They have a staff of 38 people. They have a recreation staff, administration staff, maintenance staff, and it is a great place to work. The people there get along great. It really is like a small second family. So, kind of to sum this up, Kim really hit on it. This really is, whether you're a portfolio manager or an on-site general manager, this really is a people-oriented business. I mean, we work right where people live, especially if you're on-site. Christine's office is right in the middle of the community. Karen's office is right in the middle of the community. The office that I'm working at right now is right in the middle of the community. Nothing is more personal to people than the place where they live. So if you're good with people, and I tell you, anybody that's been in this business for more than 5 years and has been successful, you have to have something on the ball when it comes to dealing with people. I mean, systems are great, you know, getting financial statements out on time is great. All that stuff is great. But the truly successful companies in our industry, they recognize it's a people-oriented business. You have to hire people that like people and are good dealing with people-related problems. And the people in this room excel at it, okay? And this is a great way to pursue your professional goals. 1 meeting a month, that alone should maybe pique somebody's curiosity in here. One board of directors, 1 board. Now, sometimes that board can be a little challenging. They're not always Christine's board or Karen's board, but it's still just 1 board of directors. So I encourage you, if you have any interest in pursuing on-site management, I encourage you to reach out to Christine, reach out to Karen, reach out to me. We would love. The best part of this job, of being in a supervisory position where you get to work with talented people like Christine and Karen and our other on-site GMs, is to help them reach their professional goals. And if we have the opportunity to do that for anybody in this room, nothing would give us greater pleasure and joy than to help you achieve the goals in this industry that you want to achieve, okay? And I'm going to leave you with this, okay? You heard Joe say, Joe, stand up. Joe, stand up. Turn around and look at everybody, okay? Anybody in our company who thinks that this job is too difficult or too complicated or too hard, this guy did it, okay? He did it. He did it successfully, and he got paid a lot of money to do it, okay? Anybody in this room, you put your mind to it, you can do it too. Thanks for your interest and your time.
Hi, everybody. I'm Maria Patrick, and is it on? Okay. I just wanted to, kind of tough act to follow, both Joe and Tim, but I'll do my best. Anyway, this is one of the favorite parts of my job, is to come up 3 times a year and acknowledge a lot of our team members and talk about the accomplishments that our team members have reached in our company. So I'd like to invite Carrie to come up and join me. So 3 times a year, we have what we call our triennial meetings. This is our fall meeting, and one of the things that we do is we celebrate some milestones for our team members and the anniversaries and their years of service. So I'd like to invite these folks to come up, and we want to celebrate their 5 years of service. So Brad Keel, Are you here, Brad? Rocio Fernandez, Jennifer Bonner, Janine Gillespie, and Ellis Cavallo. Come on up. Congratulations for 5 years. And so our program, we have a service award program through HALO, and so our new program, we actually give the awards directly now to the departments and the supervisors, so you can celebrate your team members with your departments. So everybody should have received your award. If for any reason you haven't, please let us know after the meeting. But so you would have received your award for 5 years, but we want to thank you for your 5 years of service, and congratulations again. Thank you. The next group we want to celebrate today is our 10 years of service. Tony Lopez, Greg Omayan, and Deborah Marino. Come on up. Maybe Tony stayed back. Oh, there you are. Okay. So thank you again for 10 years of service. I hope you received your awards, and we congratulate you for being with Keystone for 10 years. Thank you again. That's it. Do you want to come up? So our next celebration that we want to talk to you about is one of our core values is people. And Keystone provides an environment that promotes personal and professional success. And so one of the things we like to support is education. And we want to invite a few people to come up to celebrate that they received their designation as the CMCA in property management. So Robin Dawson, if you're here, this is the award. These people received these designations within the last 12 months. Cami Surratt, Mark Morano, Maggie Rom, Elizabeth Reed, and Bonnie Summers. Please come on up. Congratulations. You get your silver stars. Jennifer's trying to take a picture right here. We got everybody up? Okay, great. Okay, there we go. Okay. She's going to take a quick picture of you guys. There you go. Okay, congratulations. This next group received their Association Management Specialist designation. And again, Robin Dawson, Adrian Robertson, Ellis Cavallo, Jennifer Tovar, Lisa Munson, Michael Gonzalez, Shay Manafian, Nicole Roach, Donna DePledge, Karen Thompson, Danielle Curran, and Janine Gillespie. Please come up. Laura will be giving you your gold stars. And then just scooch together so Jennifer can get a picture. Okay, quick picture. All right, congratulations, everybody. It's a lot of hard work. They do this on top of their daily jobs, and they have to study and then go and take a formal exam. So it's really quite an achievement. Thank you. So one of our other core values is servant leadership, and as you know, this year we launched Keystone Gives Back, And so on July 19th, we had our first ever leadership team building event where we invited all of our supervisors to come out to the Second Harvest Food Bank in Irvine. And we held and participated in a food gathering competition. It got pretty crazy. But it was a really fun day, and we bonded together, met a lot of people that we don't work with on a daily basis, and it gave us an opportunity to give back to the Orange County community. Keystone also provided an honorarium that day in terms of a donation to the food bank, and we were able to provide over 6,000 meals to those in need in Orange County. Our second event since May 30th, when we last met, was we participated in the annual Huntington Beach Surfrider beach cleanup, and that was really fun. We went out to Huntington Beach, and we did a beach cleanup on a Saturday morning, and it was a lot of work. Every time you go up and down a few times, you feel like you've done 100 sit-ups when you get home that night. But we did a lot of beach cleanup, and it was really fun. And then our Irvine team members in the office, we held 2 days on September 25th and 27th, where they went back and we developed some teams there, and they also did a competition and gave back to our Orange County community. And our next, we have 2 events coming up for the later half of this year. One is a virtual food drive, and you'll be receiving information about this tomorrow morning from Laura Van Hill. So this will be really exciting, where you can actually go online, and we're going to be doing a food drive, but it'll be virtual, so you can do it from your computer or your phone. We'll provide more information about that tomorrow. And then we also have an annual toy drive, which we're holding in December from the 1st to the 15th. And this year we're going to support the CHOC Hospital in Orange. So it's basically a toy drive, and we'll be holding that in the Irvine office. And also, just another quick announcement is our annual holiday party will be held on Friday, December 7th. You're all invited, as well as everybody in your offices and your locations, and it will be held at the ranch in Anaheim. Okay, and so we have another keynote speaker that's going to be presenting to us in a few minutes. So now we're going to take a short break. So please return in about 12 minutes after 2. Thank you. Okay, everybody, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, back in July, we had our first ever leadership team building, and it was held at Second Harvest Food Bank. There was a small group of us that attended that day. It was basically supervisors of Keystone Pacific, and we were really fortunate to have their CDO, Gloria Jeter Crockett, present to us. And so the presentation went so well, we wanted to have everybody else here learn about Second Harvest and what it really means for our community. And so we've invited Gloria to come back in and to speak with us. So it's my pleasure to introduce Gloria Jeter Crockett.
Thank you. Thank you so very much. All right, good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? All right, did everyone get a little bit of sugar, some fruit, and some treats? I know this is the afternoon, and got to keep our energy up. I want to say thank you so very much for welcoming me back to share a little bit more about Second Harvest and what we do around leadership. When I got the ask, I said, okay, I remember that presentation and I remember how well it went, and now I'm going to tell it in front of an audience, so I think it's going to have a little bit different twist, but very, very similar. So first off, I want to say, who's been to Second Harvest to do a volunteer opportunity? If I could do a raise of hands. All right, I want to first start off by saying thank you all so very much for doing that. How many others have been out to do volunteer activities other places? Raise your hands. All right, so, we combined all that. You all have done some type of service. Service is so very important to what we do every single day. And what I'm going to do today is I'm going to walk you through some of the things that we do around service at Second Harvest Food Bank, as well as what you do and what your core values are about, and then about food insecurity overall. So I'm going to first start with our mission of the organization. And you can see it here. It's to end hunger in Orange County. Think about that. End hunger in Orange County. One of the wealthiest, on the top 10 wealthiest counties in the nation. And we were going to be focusing on ending hunger. That's really, really important. I think when you're thinking about leadership and servant leadership and thinking about ending hunger, that's really, really big. Then we're going to look at our vision. Together, we're going to create a future in which no one goes hungry. I want to tell you, when I interviewed and I saw that word ever, I interviewed for this position 3 years ago, I thought, ever. How powerful is that? How are we going to make a difference in the communities that we're serving so no one goes hungry ever? That was really, really important. And then our values, you guys can see them there. And I think what's most important is looking at those values and looking at how we're going to be leaders in our organization and make a difference. Think about that. How do you make a difference every single day in what you do? So like, Second Harvest, Keystone Pacific has core values as well. To be servant leaders is one of the key ones, and I think that's very, very important. So what do you guys think about when you think about servant leaderships? You think of a variety of things. We're going to talk about that today. So for Second Harvest Food Bank, we look at our various core values. So you see them around diversity, compassion, stewardship, integrity, compassion. These are all things that we embrace as an organization. And we think this is valuable for not only us as staff members, but as volunteers, not only as leaders, but individuals that are coming new to their career, just out of college. But I want you to think about it. I'm sure you've heard them through your leadership trainings and your conferences that you've been having. But I looked at the core values of Keystone. What are your core values? You guys could shout them out. People. Yes, people. Servant leadership. Well, that one was kind of a giveaway earlier too, wasn't it? What else? Building relationships. Also, exceed expectations. Who are the people? It's all of you. It's your external audiences as well. So to be servant leaders to one another, to also to your constituents that you serve, to build relationships. That's so key. We're all running around doing things so fast all the time. We have to stop. You have to build relationships with one another. You have to build relationship with the individuals that you're providing service with. And how does that make you feel? So one of the things I think about when someone takes a minute at the coffee machine or at the copier machine, wherever I am at work, and they said, "How was your weekend?" And they didn't ask it like this in passing. They stopped. And they say, "How was your weekend?" How does that make you feel? That someone cares? Someone's asking about you? Let's say you had a sick child last week and someone said, "How's your daughter doing?" How does that make you feel? Makes you feel like people care. Would you agree? So yes, you want people to think about you and to build those type of relationships. And that's why servant leadership has both an external and an internal component. So Greenleaf was one of the first individuals that really thought about servant leadership. And when you look at this, I love this. Good leaders must first become good servants. So all of us are leaders in this room. No matter what your position is at the organization, we're all leaders. And I think that's very, very important. You must take that away. And then I also think about, it's not always about us, it's about everyone else. So think about that in your day-to-day life. Well, how am I going to help someone else grow as an individual? I thought I needed my glasses, but I don't think so, not quite yet. All right, so when you're looking at the mission and the vision of Second Harvest, I already shared with you our values. But then I talked to you about our internal and external constituents. So when you're thinking about our internal constituents, I think about how are we going to move that forward? So when we think about our internal constituents, that's our employees. That's all of you at Keystone, all of us at Second Harvest. And so we also think about our volunteers, but what we look at and we talk to them about are different things to make sure that we are good leaders. Because we can't just, wake up one day and say, oh yes, I'm a good leader. We have to ask questions. We have to change and evolve with what's happening in the world. So first off, what we do is we do an annual employee survey. We just did this, and we grew in several areas, and we didn't grow in some areas. And so we look at that and we say, okay, what can we do differently? We're very transparent as an organization. We share that with our team. We want to get their feedback and some of their great ideas. So it's about having that exchange with one another to figure out how can we be different. We also have CEO listening sessions. These are sessions for staff to just have a conversation with the CEO and say, what's really working well? Because sometimes, I'm going to step back for a minute. So we had our employee survey, and my staff team had to then dissect it, and they had to give feedback. Well, I happened to be out of town, so they did it without me, which was perfect. Nothing like not having the boss in the room, because you get real solid answers a lot more. So they answered it, and so one of the things they wanted Second Harvest Food Bank gear. And I was like, gear? So I came back and I said, gear? They're like, yeah, like a sweatshirt. And so then I was like, okay, well, we give to our employees some kind of tchotchke every year during the holidays. And they said, we don't like those tchotchkes. I said, well, what if? They said, we don't like the water bottle. We don't like the lunchbox. It doesn't hold enough. They said, what? I said, what if we didn't give you that tchotchke and we gave you $40 to buy gear that's going to make you really happy? They're like, yes, we love it. We can get whatever we want. I said, yes. They were like, all right. So, it's those little things. The survey said they wanted tchotchkes. We'll give you tchotchkes. If that's going to really, because you think about if it's small things, do it. It's worth it. It's going to be a $4,000 investment that we just took from one line item, from items that we give at the holiday time, to move it to another line item. It's very simple. So I think it's important to listen. Then also, employee-driven committees, we really make sure we talk about empowerment and ownership at Second Harvest Food Bank. And why is that important? Because guess what? I'm 50 years old right now, and I had my 50th birthday this year, and my ideas might be getting a little stale. We need always fresh ideas, not to say that my ideas are not good ones, but you know what? It's always about engaging one another in the practice of learning more. And I think that's something really important that we do. And then the key to it all, communication. It's all about communication and making sure it's open, and we're always having a check-in point. So when you guys are all out with your teams and you hear something through the grapevine, is it a better idea to keep it going through the grapevine or to get more information and then provide the correct information if it is, incorrect information? It's about getting better information. So communication is key. And one of the things, you guys were given a handout, and it was talking about, some of the key characteristics, what we're doing as an organization, and some of these things are listed on there. So I just want to bring your attention to that because I think it's important. Because some of the things are about, doing stay interviews, doing one-on-one meetings. What are those like? Stay interviews are for interviews with individuals that are at the organization. Say, what's keeping you here? Why do you want to be here? What is it about Second Harvest? Because let me tell you, it's all about the mission most oftentimes, but it's also about how valued they are and how they can give back to the organization. So then we look at our external audiences, so it's about stewardship. You guys are definitely outward-facing organization in many ways. So you have lots of customers that you come involved with every single day. So it's about providing great stewardship to them. How does it feel? I mean, if you think about it, when someone comes up to you and they say, what is a maintenance issue that happens quite often in property management? Someone help me with that. Broken sprinkler. So how nice would it be when you walk by John Doe and say, John, how's that sprinkler doing? He's like, wow. he remembered me. He or she remembered me, and they made me feel good. It's about having a smile on your face when you're showing up at work. You know, the first thing I do when I get to work, I go in my office, I turn on the lights, click on my computer, turn back off the lights, and I take 5 minutes to meditate just for myself, because I want to make sure whatever was outside in my personal life, I didn't bring it to work, and that I'm prepared with a smile on my face when my team gets there, because I'm usually there before them, so I want to be revved up. So the same thing, when we're talking to our colleagues, we want to make sure we have a smile on our face, as well as our external audiences. Then providing service excellence. You know, when you get the call for the sprinkler, we're going to be there within an hour. And to be there within an hour, and if not, you know, try to be there with, call them back and say, I'll be there within a couple of hours. You know, also looking at, you know, being authentic, being caring for everyone. And then friendships. I think that's really, really important. I think the crossover with Second Harvest and Keystone and what you guys do is looking at, you know, empowerment, mutual respect, being our best every single day. When you're smiling and you're happy and you're laughing throughout the day, it's contagious. And I think that's very, very important. So one of the things that we do at Second Harvest, a great place to work philosophy, it's all about being there for our employees. And so I'm going to read this first part to you. As leaders at Second Harvest Food Bank of Orange County, we create a positive, supportive, and trusting culture that lives out our values and becomes one of the best places to work in Orange County. So that's what we're really focusing on. Now I'm going to have you guys read this next paragraph. Okay, what were the key things that you see in that paragraph that resonate with you? Could it be growth and well-being of people and communities? That resonates with me. That's huge. The growth and well-being of, you know, our fellow mankind, you know, both all of you as individuals and then our customers. I think another one that was powerful to me was, let's see, where is it at? Servant leaders shares power. That's really, really, really important to Second Harvest Food Bank, because it's about empowering, our future leaders in our organization. Any other key words in there that jump out to you guys? Don't be shy. Developing people, exactly. You know, so those are some key things around servant leadership, and I want to talk to you a little bit. A couple of individuals that I met at our first meeting, they said, you know, we really enjoyed hearing about your story and how you became involved in servant leadership. And I was reflecting, I was like, gosh, there's lots of things I've done. So I've shared with you that I'm 50, and guess how long I've been a servant leader out of those 50 years? Half? 30? So I started volunteering when I was a kid. So I was part of Girl Scouts. I was part of other not-for-profits. I volunteered a lot with the American Cancer Society. But I really started with my first job. I was working at a hospital, and I was working in the admitting department, and I would see patients that came in every single week for various lab tests, treatments, could be coming in for chemotherapy. And I was like, wow, this has got to be hard for these individuals. So what I started doing is when I would see certain people that came in every single week that it was really, really hard, and they'd be on that little chain of individuals, the order in which we were supposed to admit them, I'd grab that other one down further, I'd take it off, and I'd do them before the others. Now, did anybody recognize this? Not really, because I just do the paperwork, I'd come out with a wheelchair, or I'd just start walking and I'd signal them. But it was because I knew that I needed to provide a little bit extra to them, that I said I was going to go a little bit out of the proper, protocol to hopefully make their day a little bit easier. I not only started in the hospital because I was going to college at the time, and I said, well, I'm going to be a broadcast journalist. This is what I want to do. And then my father was diagnosed with cancer. So I decided, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to work for the American Cancer Society. And quickly, after taking that job, I realized that it was my calling, let's say, or my purpose in life to be a servant leader, to be able to give back to the community and those that are being touched by various things. And so what I continue to do to this day, I continue my servant leadership by now saying, okay, this is what I've learned. This is what I've done. Now let me give it back to the next generation of leaders, because it's about teaching that and making sure that we empower those individuals. And that's what I do every single day. And my staff team is always, so the one thing that they say to me that really is important, they say, you always help us grow as individuals. So for those of all of us actually in the room, think about how you can help people grow in what they're doing. So what my staff sometimes also tells me, they say, you like geek out, Gloria, when you empower people. And I'm like, yeah, it gets really exciting. So, all right, so now I'm going to talk a little bit more about hunger. So, how many people are hungry in Orange County? You may not know this number. Why am I showing a picture of Angel Stadium? I'm showing you a picture of Angel Stadium because you can fill Angel Stadium nearly 7 times with the number of individuals that are hungry in Orange County. 7 times. Look at that. It's a lot of people hungry. So we have over 301,000 individuals at risk for hunger in Orange County every single month. That's how many we have. Out of those, 1 out of 6 are children. That shouldn't be any hunger, number one, but children especially. So children, 1 in 6. I want you to know we are 1 of 14 counties here, across the nation. Remember, 1 of 14 counties across the nation that has more than 100,000 children at risk for hunger. Remember what I said earlier about we're one of the wealthiest counties in the nation? Let's step back again and look at that. We have a lot of wealth, but we also have a lot of disparities. Looking at seniors, 44% single seniors and 22% couples are financially unstable here in Orange County. And we know we have a lot of baby boomers, that are aging. Our aging population is going to more than double by 2040 in Orange County. So looking at that is really, really important. So one of the things that we do is we provide meals to over 250,000 individuals monthly. You can see there's a gap. So the leadership and the giving back that we're doing is not enough. So the heat map. So how many people may have thought that hunger is only in North County of Orange County? A lot of people think it's a lot in North County. Okay. See these little circles here? I don't think there's a pointer on here, so my apologies. But the little circles represent where we distribute food as by city. The larger the circle, the more food distribution there is. So you see our top cities here, but I want you to know that every single city in Orange County, we provide meals. And I think that's really, really important for people to take away, is that it's across the county. So for here, Orange County, I was sharing that 34 cities, total population of about, I think it's up to about 3.3 now, million. Annual income, if you look at that, 81% of our clients, look at that. That income is extremely low. You can't live on that in Orange County. You look at 154,000 is the minimum household income for a median priced home in Orange County. Wow, you could buy a house for about 80,000 other parts of the country. So when you're looking at this, at a family of 4, to afford a $2,200 two-bedroom, $2,200 a month two-bedroom apartment, needs to make $89,000. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. And then you look at our number of children that are on free or reduced lunch program, 50% of the kids in Orange County. That's for that's public schools or some charter schools. And then if you look at our housing, the prices continue to go up. The apartments cost, and 1/3 of all of our neighborhoods in Orange County are considered financially unstable. So you can say there's a need for those in Orange County. What I want to point out about that is we have a need in Orange County, but we also have to look at it's in pockets and what we're doing as an organization to address it. So I wanted to put this back out there around servant leadership and what we do. So if you look at those small acts, when multiplied, we can transform the world. So when all of you go out and volunteer and do different activities to help others, just remember you're transforming the world, and it means a lot. So I'm going to talk about hunger a little bit here. We've got 4 quadrants. So this is our bold goal. We started our bold goal 2.5 years ago, in which we were going to be growing from 20 million meals annually to 30 million meals to close the meal gap in Orange County. The meal gap 2.5 years ago was 16.5 million meals. And so our board of directors said, okay, we'd like to evaluate how we can close the meal gap. We talked to other hunger relief organizations in the county, and they said, we're only doing what we can do right now. We're at capacity. So our board had in-kind individuals come in and reevaluate how we're bringing food in and taking food out, reviewing all of our programs, and they came up and said, yes, we can grow by 10 million meals to help start to close that meal gap and provide the meals necessary for those who are hungry in Orange County. So we started doing that to grow to that 30 million. So it shows you how we're going to be doing that. We're going to be strengthening our partners. We're going to be feeding more families. We're going to be feeding more seniors, and then we're going to be feeding more children. We're going to ramp up those programs. So I'm happy to say this last year, which is 2 years into our bold goal, we were at 25.1 million meals. So we're very, very excited. So our goal was 22.9 last year. I shared with you we got to that 25.1. Then also some of the things that we had to do. We had to buy a new truck. We also had to replace a truck. Does anybody know how much a big semi costs with the trailer and the cab? I need a guess. 130? 200,000? Costs about $220,000 to purchase a new truck, a tractor with a cab, or tractor with a trailer. So that's a lot of money. So guess what we have to go from raising? We have to go from raising $5.4 million annually to $8.2 million annually to reach our bold goal. But that's on things like trucks, some staffing, some program changes. We opened 6 new mobile school pantries. What is a mobile school pantry? It is like a farmer's market that you and I go to, but it helps those in our community. We locate these markets and these pantries in low-income neighborhoods that people can go to, and they can feel like they have been empowered to go and shop for what they want and not be given a bag. We want to make sure that our distributions are dignified. I mean, I don't know if some of you guys may remember, it used to be when you heard about giving food away that it was about getting a bag. We try to steer away from that. It's more about dignity now. We also have our 6 additional distributions each month. We're continuing to build partner capacity, which I'll share more about. And we just launched our senior mobile pantry in May, which is a mobile pantry on wheels, which I'll show you a picture of as well. So I talked about partner capacity. See that guy up? Isn't that the greatest picture, the one on the top left? That was his old refrigerator, and that was the industrial size that we bought for him to help him with his capacity. So that means that they now can distribute more perishable food to their constituents. Over 70% of our food that we distribute are perishable. So the senior market, you can see how they're going through. The school pantries, you can see how that looks like a farmer's market. We've got the Starbucks van that I'll go back to in just a second. We have our permanent school pantry, which is in the middle, and then one of our new trucks. So Starbucks, we all know how much we spend about, some of us who drink Starbucks, we spend maybe $6, $7 a day if we only go once. Well, I want to tell you, Starbucks did a wonderful partnership with us. They gave us a grant to purchase 5 vans. With those vans that are refrigerated, we are to do pickups at all 184 stores in Orange County. We pick up those with our partners every single night, and then our partners are able to distribute it back to the constituents that they serve. It's an amazing partnership, but this is the great part about it as well. Those partners who did not have cold storage to take meals back to their distributions, they now can do small grocery rescues at other locations and other grocery rescues, so Ralph's, Walmart, Food for Less, Stater Brothers, all of those grocers, they're able to go now to pick up there. So that is another way that servant leadership is being provided through Starbucks, by giving us that grant to allow us to get more food and do more rescues. So those are just some examples of some of the things we're doing. Now we're going to share a story of one of our constituents that we've helped.
My name is Maria. I have 3 kids. Michaela is next to me, she's 7, and I have 2 boys, 10 and 12 years old. My story is like 6 years ago, my husband left, and I have little kids, and I have the rent, and I have all the bills, and even if I'm working mom, I work in the same company for 17 years. I never stop working. But the rent is so expensive. With my work, I don't even can pay the rent because the rent was high, and so I have to move with all my kids in one room and rent the part of the house to help me. But even if I do a lot to change in my life, was so hard. Was hard for me. Even if the kids eat at school, they eat at school, but at home I don't have anything. You don't have money, so it's hard to tell them I can buy it. I can. Sometimes I don't know what to do. I cry in the night, working depressed. Because I was worried. I was alone. I'm from another country, and I don't have family or friends or somebody to ask for help. I was alone with 3 kids in another country. I was crying at work and told him I don't have food for my kids. So they tell me about this place. The first day I came here, I talked with Susanna, and she gave me a lot of hope. She gave me a big hug and say, you can come every week, and so I'm so happy with my kid to came to here, and they help me. They help me to be more strong. So I came with my kid, with 3, and I waited in the line, and the first time when they give you all this food, I was so happy, and they give you a rice, milk, eggs, everything, fruit, veggies, so I was so happy. One less problem for me, that helped me a lot. I like to help people, because when I didn't need the help, they was there. They helped me. So for me, it's not a shop. It's like happy. I try to come every week. Even if it's raining, I don't care. I'm here, happy to help. Yes, keep donate food, because that help and that change lives. That changed completely life. My life was changed like 100%. I was so down, and then little by little I go up. Maybe there are more people like me. They don't know where to go. They don't know about the place. If they don't donate the food, this place is not going to work anymore, and that's not good, because change lives.
Changing lives, that's so very important. And what we were able to provide for Maria is just another way that we're being able to provide leadership and service to our community. And you can see from her story, it's not, it's your next door neighbor. It's the neighbor down the street. It's a classmate at school. You don't know who's hungry for various reasons. And her story is just an example of one. So I want to thank you all for your service, and I really like this quote. I'll give you guys an opportunity to read it. It's about how each and every one of us make each other feel, and We at Second Harvest cannot thank you all enough for all the impact that you've made in helping us feed the hungry. Back in July, when I did my presentation, you all gave a gift and provided over 6,000 meals. I can't say thank you enough for that. I was handed an envelope when I got here. I'm not sure what's in it, but I'll look, and I want to say thank you very much for that as well. And you know what kind of impact you're going to make when you start that virtual food drive? I heard about that. A little birdie told me you're going to start a virtual food drive. When's that start? Tomorrow. All right, I got to see you guys getting geeked out about that, because you know what? When you guys start that virtual food drive, our buying power is so much, it's unbelievable. So if you could buy 3 cans of soup for $1, we could probably buy 10 for that same $1, because we have that kind of buying power. So just look at the type of impact you're going to be making when you do that virtual food drive. And I cannot thank you enough. I appreciate you having me here today. And if you have any questions, let me know. If not, I think I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, that's an amazing organization. I enjoyed my time there. I hope we can do some more partnering with you next year and the years beyond. It's amazing seeing how people are hungry in our county and living in our neighborhood. So, boy, today I sit here and watch our people. One of my favorite things to do in these meetings is to watch people come up here that work in the company that I don't get to see normally and tell us what they do. We have just amazing talent in this room, and I just want to thank you guys for all the hard work you do. It's a pleasure to work with everybody and to lead this organization and watch you guys grow. And that the word empowerment you said today, I mean, we talk about that all the time, about empowering you to do your job better, to bring us ideas. Please take that to heart. If you're not empowered enough, come tell us. We want to empower you to grow and lead. So that's all we have for today. Thank you for coming, and we'll see you.